Hi, everybody, and welcome to City Beat. I'm your host, Nancy Byrne, and we are coming to you from the KCLV TV studios. On August 6th, our community paused to honor Nevada State Trooper Micah May. He was killed in the line of duty as police were attempting to stop an erratic carjacker on Interstate 15. He was actually laying down those stop strips when the car ran right into him. He died from those injuries just days later. So on August 6th, a service, procession, and burial was held. Our photojournalist Eric Sorensen was part of the team that covered this very moving day.
We see a bright new star in the sky, is in the heavens these nights at night. And as each and every rainbow is seen, it is holding Micah David May in its beams. Our prayers for him, for you, his beloved family, and our sincerest gratitude for having had him touch our lives so deeply. Our community extends deepest prayers and condolences, but find the richness in the memories of a beautiful man and a wonderful husband, father, son, and brother, and friend. Our sympathies and condolences.
This channel is code red for Henry 6203. No response on a status check. This is a final call for Trooper Micah May, Henry 6203. Do you copy? Trooper Micah May, Henry 6203. Your end of watch 1042 time is July 29th, 2021 at 10:43 hours. Godspeed, sir. Rest in peace. We have it from here.
Trooper May was with NHP for 13 years. He was 46 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children, as well as many other family members, friends, and co-workers who love him dearly. Well, from remembering one man to remembering nearly 3,000 people killed on September 11th, 2001. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years. Something a lot of people don't know about Ground Zero is after they were clearing out some of the rubble about a month after the attacks, a tree was found that was badly damaged but clinging to life. It was nurtured back to life and is now known as the survivor tree. Well, every year, 9/11 Committee gives out saplings to communities across the globe that have suffered their own tragedies. In 2017, the city of Las Vegas received 2 saplings. They have been nurtured and are now ready to be planted in remembrance of the victims of 1 October. Every tree and shrub in this nursery is handled with special care by our Parks and Ground maintenance staff. But tucked into one of the many rows of trees, you will find 2 very special Bradford pears, born from a tree that managed to cling to life in one of the worst disasters in our country's history.
They're survivor trees from a tree that was found at Ground Zero after they cleared all the rubble away. They dug this tree up, transplanted it, and it sprouted back out, so they've started actually cloning it from cuttings.
That's right. Out of this rubble and ash, one lone tree with damaged roots and scorched limbs was put into the hands of the staff of New York City's Parks and Rec Department and nursed back to become a thriving tree. Now, each year, the symbol of resilience is shared across the world.
Yeah, they give out a few saplings to other cities across the globe that have experienced tragic events like 9/11.
The city of Las Vegas was given 2 saplings, one in honor of the people killed and injured following the October 1st mass shooting at the Harvest Festival in 2017. The other as a reminder to never forget 9/11.
So, I mean, when we got it, it was about, basically from about here out, 24, 36 inches, somewhere in there. And like I say, it's about as big around as my thumb, about 3/4 of an inch in diameter.
They arrived in 5-gallon pots and are now in 45-gallon pots and stand about 7 feet tall. One will be planted at Police Memorial Park as a thanks to our first responders. The other will grow at Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Station 5. That's where the city holds its annual 9/11 memorial ceremony. That is the station where you can see a twisted piece of the World Trade Center and where a flag that was flown over Ground Zero was donated to Las Vegas from New York City. The plan is to plant them the last week of August or beginning of September, so they will be in place for both anniversaries.
And, you know, it's still going to be hot, but it's the tail end of summer, the humidity's up, and we're getting cooler nights, so it's actually an ideal time to plant because the tree goes into the ground and then has fall and winter to acclimate before the next hot summer.
Stephen says being responsible for keeping these 2 trees alive and growing was slightly intimidating, but he and the staff who oversee this nursery were up to the task. And although Bradford pear trees are not exactly indigenous to our neck of the woods, the extra work to keep them alive and healthy is well worth it.
Yeah, they're by no means a drought-tolerant tree, so and we really have tried to shift our focus to that. But, you know, given what it is, I think we should be honored to have them.
Make an exception in this case.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will be with city staff when they plant those 2 very special trees, and we'll bring that story to you on an upcoming City Beat. If you're not familiar with Bradford pears, when they bloom in the spring, they are filled with white flowers. It looks like a big white cloud. Very, very beautiful. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, a tip of the hat to all of our schools as we start a new school year, particularly those schools we call Reinvent Schools. Stay with us. Congratulations to the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month, Michael Yandrick. Earlier this year, Municipal Court Marshal Yandrick, while off duty and not in uniform, was having dinner at a local establishment. During his dinner, he noticed a customer at the bar was inebriated and started getting loud and aggressive with other patrons. Michael could see the staff was getting nervous, so he and another patron escorted the man out of the establishment. The man re-entered and tried to start a physical fight with Michael. Michael attempted to defuse the situation when the man pulled a pistol on him. Michael was able to disarm the man without anyone getting hurt. Metro Police soon arrived and took over the situation. Michael demonstrated outstanding courage in this confrontation. He tried to verbally de-escalate the situation and used his training to protect himself and others. For his courage in keeping our community safe, we congratulate Michael Yandrick, the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month. Welcome back to City Beat from the KCLV TV studios, where we are strategically standing in front of our trophy case, where there are several Emmys as well as other awards. Well, as we start a new school year, we want to point out some very special schools in our city called Reinvent Schools. You're about to see why they are so successful and so special.
So now that you've seen all of the excitement and enthusiasm around our Reinvent Schools Las Vegas, I want to talk to you a little bit about the philosophy behind the power and impact of what we put into our kids and how it builds stronger communities, families, and schools. It's modeled after community schools, and it really works to address the whole child in the environment. It brings the community into the school in a supportive way. It looks at how we can shore up academics, attendance, and social and emotional well-being for our youth in our elementary schools. This approach pays dividends long into the future. If we invest in our kids now, we reap the benefits for years to come.
It's not unusual to see parents and students checking out the community garden here at Red Rock Elementary School, but it's not everywhere you see the school's principal walking along with them. But to Principal Stephanie Wong, a stroll and interaction like this is just as important as high-level meetings with school administration. Red Rock is one of 16 Reinvent schools in the city of Las Vegas, and it is this one-on-one interaction with the entire staff of the school that makes students and their families feel welcome and involved.
I feel like this has just become a second family. Everybody here is so supportive, whether it's education or, home or anything, and everybody's there for you, and the admin from the teachers to the janitors.
Part of the philosophy behind Reinvent Schools is thinking outside the box or outside the classroom. In other words, these schools know the importance of not only taking care of students during the school day, but making sure the family unit is cared for as well.
The difference is just bringing those wraparound services to our school that we so needed. I always felt like we kind of hung on the side of the cliff, and we did okay. So we did okay enough to be okay, but not as much as we could do for families just because we didn't have funding sources, and it's difficult to network.
That can mean everything from feeding families with the food cultivated in the school garden to holding free family resource fairs where kids get to have fun. Everyone gets a good meal, and parents get to learn all about the many resources available to them from partners across the city.
We are a community school. We have dental services, we have vision services, we have a clothing closet, we have a food bank, we have 3 Square that we give out fresh fruits and vegetables once a month, plus we have the backpack program.
Blow it out.
There is even trauma recovery yoga offered at many of the schools to help kids deal with stress or any kind of issues they may be facing at home in a healthy way, like this one at Robert Lunt Elementary School. Instructor Jaylene Moore says techniques the kids learn in class stand by them in all segments of their lives.
And even a kid, told us later on, they're like, sometimes when, things are bad at home or I feel unsafe, they're like, I just go in my room and I hum now and it makes me feel really good.
In fact, looking out for the children's mental health and all-around wellness is an area in which UNLV has played a major role since the first Reinvent School was established about 10 years ago.
We've supported finding the most effective components of the community schools model, what they should look like locally within our City of Las Vegas initiative. We've helped collect needs assessment data to be able to inform what the key stakeholders want on each of the campuses. We use the scholarship and research activities of the university to be able to determine effectiveness and what the impact of the program is on the local community. And then we find ways to have our students partner both at the doctoral level and in teacher education to work in a variety of initiatives to provide interventions and services to kids, to provide educational opportunities, etc.
UNLV also assists in the complex task of evaluating the success of these schools.
What we've found through evaluations of programming that we've done over the years is that students who are case managed by Reinvent Schools Las Vegas programming have improved attendance, they have decreased absence rates, they increase in their literacy scores, the number of families is markedly improved in how they connect with integrated student supports and have services outside of there. So there are a number of factors that show super promising evidence.
Another great arm of the Reinvent Schools is the AmeriCorps members. These are talented men and women who step in and work directly with the students and provide support for the teachers. Meet Scarlett and Asia.
We are there to ensure children's academic success throughout their whole academic careers, not just elementary school. Even though that's the age group we're working with, we're teaching them habits with their reading that they're going to carry on throughout their academic careers.
Because for me personally, having that one-on-one with a child that might need a little extra help, it just brings a light to me, and knowing that they are happy to come with me and they're like, oh yeah, I want to go with Miss Asia to the class, so that they could get that one-on-one.
So I think that there's nothing more fulfilling than working with a group of kids and having them say, wow, I understand this and it's because of you. There's nothing like having children look up to you and see you as a role model, and that's honestly one of the most fulfilling things about AmeriCorps.
Our Reinvent Schools are intentionally set up in communities where there is more need for wraparound services. It doesn't mean families at those schools don't want to do what's best for their children. Most often they just need to be pointed toward the resources that are readily available to help them. Like the community gardens, the school staff and the community partners just plant the seeds, giving the students and their families the bounty that nourishes the body and the mind.
So in less than a decade, we have grown exponentially. We started with 4 schools, we're now up to 16, and we are not stopping until we serve all of our schools here in the city of Las Vegas.
Congratulations to YDSI, all of those schools, the parents, the students, the teachers. They are great success stories, and we know we have more to come. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, next time you visit our downtown, you might notice some new parking meters. Don't panic, they're easy to use. We'll walk you through it when we come back.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
Welcome back to City Beat from KCLV TV. Now, if you have visited downtown and parked in any of our lots or some of our street parking slots, you may have noticed some new parking meters, just when you got used to the old ones. But don't worry, after you see this little tutorial, you'll find out that they are not only smart meters, they're very user-friendly.
Hi there, can I help you with this?
Please. They look a lot like the former parking meters, but these are part of the License Plate Recognition System, or LPR. And you're about to see why they are going to make feeding the meter easy and efficient.
We've changed to license plate enforcement, and what that means is when a customer walks up to the meter, rather than entering a number or just, a stall number or just paying the meter, what they'll need to do is enter their license plate number. And then pay the meter.
I know, you just got used to the other meters where you punch in your spot number and feed the meter, but Parking Services thinks you'll find these meters to be more convenient. Lewis took only moments to demonstrate how easy they are to use.
So the first thing you're going to want to do is push the button there. That's going to turn on the screen. It prompts you through very nicely here. So basically it tells you just to push start to begin. This is where you enter your license plate. This is where you enter how long you anticipate you're going to stay. So at this point you just enter your credit card there. Print your receipt, and it's not necessary to put this on your dash, but you certainly can if you like.
I can take it with me, that way I know when it's going to expire.
That's exactly right.
And for Parking Services, these meters are just more efficient. No more officers getting out and checking meters in cars. These meters actually talk to the LPR system that's embedded in the patrolling cars and let them know who was paid up and who was not.
We have one enforcement officer will actually drive the entire district and be able to pick up all the plates as well as all the violations. And then a second unit will come along behind them and actually enforce and write those tickets. But what that first unit is doing is telling everyone else in the field where the violations are.
Right now, the city has about 50% of all parking meters in city lots and on city streets replaced with the plate reading meters. They will not be in parking garages. The plan is to replace all the old ones with these intelligent meters, so you might as well get out of your car and give them a try. You might actually like them, as much as you can like a parking meter.
It's very self-explanatory. The screen walks them through it.
See what we mean? That's just as easy as pie. Something you may not know about the city of Las Vegas. We recently achieved LEED Gold certification. Now, what that means is that around every turn, everything we do, we keep sustainability in mind, and that includes building new buildings. So it might not surprise you that our new municipal court building just achieved LEED Silver. Here's why. The new Las Vegas Municipal Court building is more than just a pretty face. It has been thoroughly checked out by the U.S. Green Building Council and designated as a LEED Silver building. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. In other words, it shows our city's continued commitment to sustainability. Fittingly, it is located directly across the street from the Gold certified Las Vegas City Hall. We spoke with Marco Vallada 6 feet apart outside.
Just the location in a walkable part of Las Vegas gives us additional credits and points for sustainability. It's an infill site and it's right across the street from the Bonneville Transit Center, so it's accessible from anywhere in the valley, whether you're walking, biking, driving, or taking public transportation.
Marco is with the city's planning department and says when the courthouse was being built, sustainability was a top priority. He knows every corner of this building and all its green features.
The building has recycling throughout and it used sustainable materials. We use 40% less water. Our landscaping is drought tolerant and we use less water for our plumbing and our fixtures in the building.
It's not only the plumbing that saves water, the landscaping was chosen with our hot desert climate in mind. The roof of the building is white to combat heat island effect. The LEED Silver building fits perfectly into the city's plan to keep sustainability in mind at every turn on our streets and in our structures.
Yeah, we have almost 50,000 LED street lights. We've reduced our energy considerably there. And we're working on on some new plans for Maryland Parkway to help improve transportation between downtown, the medical district, and the airport. So we're working not only to reduce our building energy consumption, but also to reduce transportation emissions and improve transportation for everybody.
On August 9th, the United Nations Climate Panel, which includes some of the world's leading scientists, delivered a stark warning saying we are in the midst of a real climate emergency. Well, the city of Las Vegas has been taking aggressive steps for years to do its part to cut back on energy, water consumption, and emissions, and it is not resting on its laurels.
We assessed everything with respect to sustainability, whether it was the natural environment, the built environment, quality of life issues, and we incorporated all of those into our recently adopted 2050 master plan. This is not only about sustainability for our municipal operations, but for the community as a whole. And buildings like this contribute to the overall sustainability of the city itself.
According to our planning department, the city of Las Vegas carbon footprint is the same size as it was in 1950, despite all of our growth and population boom. So that really is quite an accomplishment. So here's a question for you. If you have a hobby or an interest, do you need to stop practicing it when you get to be, 50 or so? Well, if your hobby is rugby, you might want to start transitioning into golf. But if it's creating art, there's no need to stop. In fact, some people don't even start their craft until later in life. Our Office of Cultural Affairs honors artists 50 or better every year in celebrating life. This year is no different. These beautiful pieces exhibited in the Chamber Gallery at the Las Vegas City Hall vary in media.
There is sculpture, there's fiber art, there's photography, there's ceramics, there is even mixed media where you have different types of materials that are incorporated into one piece. There's watercolor painting, really there's a little bit of everything.
But one thing all of this art has in common is it was created by local artists who are 50 years old or better. These are the winners of the Celebrating Life exhibit.
And the show is juried each year by a local artist expert, and the juror selects all of the work that goes into the show, and then the juror also selects winners in each media category. So these are the winners of each media category, the top 3 winners, and in some cases there's an honorable mention as well.
Allie Haynes-Hamlin says the exhibit opens the door to artists with incredible talent to be seen, artists that many in our community are not even aware of. But the annual Celebrating Life is important for other reasons as well.
But it also really celebrates the entire lifelong career of the artist. This show is only open to artists who are age 50 years old or older. We like to call them 50 or better. And it really is important, I think, to showcase that artists of all ages continue to create great work.
It also beautifully illustrates it's never too late to continue to master your artistic skills. And it's never too late to maybe start a new hobby.
And we have some artists that are juried into this show that only started creating art after they turned 50 or better. And then we have other artists that have been creating their whole career, so you really get to see that lifelong progression of their craft.
Each year, the show receives as many as 150 entries. Only 40 to 50 can be featured. These here in the winner's circle at the Chamber Gallery, and then others the juror felt were so good they still should be seen. So they are on display at the Art Gallery at Charleston Heights Art Center. Allie doesn't envy the juror's job, but says she's thrilled the competition is so tough.
I'm just really overjoyed, especially for shows like this where we get a lot of submissions from different artists around the community that we don't see a whole lot of work from. It's really wonderful to see like the incredible art that's being made that, we otherwise wouldn't be aware of.
The Winner's Circle will be on display in the Chamber Gallery until October 14th. That is on the second floor of City Hall. The others will be on display at Charleston Heights Art Center through August 26th. That is at 800 Brush Street. Well, that does it for another City Beat. Thank you so much for joining us from the KCLV TV studios, and we'll see you right back here for the next City Beat. Find out what's going on all over the city of Las Vegas by subscribing to the City Beat e-newsletter. Simply scan this QR code to get a preview of each show twice a month.